If only the NTC had said to us from the outset that they could not give the network a provisional authority or that they would not allow ABS CBN to broadcast after the expiration of their 25-year franchise, then we would have not relied on their word, and this piece of legislation that we are acting upon now may have been acted upon during that time. That's why as early as February, we warned about COVID-19. And we asked the supporters of ABS CBN na payagan nyo muna kaming maghanda. Nung Marso nyo lang nakita na tama kami. That is a fact, not an opinion. It is a fact that they gave their word under oath before the Congress of the Philippines. It is a fact that the NTC said they will give a provisional authority. Yes, there was some days that I did not speak about ABS-CBN. Why? Because we were talking about DSWD. We were talking about social amelioration. We were talking with the cabinet about the stimulus bill. We were talking about critical construction activities, including medical centers. Ano? Tatalikuran ko lahat ng trabaho ko? Papatayan ko ng telepono o mag-exit ako sa Zoom para lang i-address lahat ng concerns tungkol sa ABS-CBN? Samantalang ang chairman naman natin ng franchise committee na si Congressman Alvarez ay napakagaling at sinasagot naman lahat ng issues. So frankly, today is really not the time for ABS-CBN. Then we will find the time today to do what is right. Because it was wrong for the government, without notice, without due process, to stop the broadcasting of ABS-CBN, especially during this pandemic. The fact that ABS-CBN is still able to broadcast its content even after its franchise had been preemptorily terminated shows that this issue is not, nor has it ever been, about silencing media nor curtailing the freedom of the press. Just look at the social networking platforms and you will see that those freedoms are alive, well, and undeniably thriving in the Philippines. Wala po tayong binubusal-salan dito. We are simply following the law that every 25 years, you have to present before Congress your case of why we should give you another 25 years. And if some, many, or even one person complains, it is our duty to hear that complaint and then judge later on. And we deserve a hearing to be able to hear that. Yes, it might be unfair to Carlo Katikbak and Mark Lopez, the new management, because this happened during another era, no? But they're asking for a extension. They want a new franchise that will let them continue their media empire. Thus, accountability. Kung may negosyo po ako, pero yung negosyo ko po na yon may ginawang mali, binili na po ni Rani Abu ang negosyo na yon. Pag hinabol po ng BIR, hindi lang ako ang hahabulin, siya din. Siya na may-ari nung ano na yun nung negosyo na yon. So it might be unfair kung tinago ko sa iyo yon, Honorable Deputy Speaker Abu. But you still have to face the consequences. So if the government is removing your license, you have to answer. No? And we have to see what are the reforms that you will put in place. Now, if the network is confident that mali, these are false accusations, misunderstandings, these are rumblings by many of our kababayans, then let the people judge habang naghihiring po tayo. To the celebrities of ABS-CBN, yes, marami kayong fans dito sa Congress, but please be reminded that loyalty to the company that has given you a good life is important. But you cannot cry injustice and blame public servants when you lose your paycheck or your show, yet not take notice of the fact, yes, the fact, that there are grave issues against your network. These include alleged violation again, alleged violations of labor laws, tax laws, and even constitutional law, even election laws. By all means, let your voices of support for your network be heard. By all means, sabihin natin sa kababayan ang mga magandang nagawa ng network. But if you really want to join the public debate, find it in your heart, find it in your indignation to also support due process and fact-finding as the issue is imbued with public interest, not just your interest. I understand it's hard for any employee to speak against the company that it serves. But there are employees who are speaking out against ABS. And this is the only time that they will be listened to. Every time na may 25-year franchise renewal, dun lang pinapakinggan eh. Yes, you have the courts, you have the labor arbiters, but how long does that take? And if it shows a pattern, hindi naman magde-decide ang labor arbiter about that eh. Di ba? Yung social justice po, kasama po yan sa franchise. Kasi public utilities po ito. Some of my colleagues, some lang po to. Yes, this bill is important, no question about that. But is it so important that you would lose all sense of objectivity and propriety? Again, is it so important that you will lose all sense of objectivity and propriety? How dare you belittle the tremendous work this Congress has done in the past 10 months? Shame on you for insulting your own house and colleagues and calling your colleagues inutil and tamad. Despite having passed the 2020 General Appropriations Act, the Bayanihan to Heal Us Act, as one act, postponing the 2020 Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, which turned out to be the right thing to do. Imagine kung mag-election tayo during these times. The law for establishment of Malasakit Center, increasing and restructuring excise tax rates on alcohol, heated tobacco, and vapor products that are now helping our government coffers and helping the health sector. Corporate Income Tax and Incentive Rationalization Act, CITIRA, the Passive Income and Financial Intermediary Taxation Act, PIFITA, the creation of the Department of Filipino Overseas and Foreign Employment, the Real Property Valuation and Assessment Act, the creation of the National Academy for Sports, the Salary Standardization of 2019, extending the 2019 budget to include the teachers and nurses and other things, which, by way, 8 of these 10 that I have mentioned are part of the legislative priorities announced by the President noong 2019 SONA. And kung sino pa itong isa, dalawa o tatlo na tinawag tayong tamad at inutil, hindi ba kayo naman ang nagsasabing bukas na lang yan? Hindi ko pa nabasa yung bill na yan, I need a day more. Wag muna yung Malasakit Center, next week na yan. Wag muna yan Department of Overseas, next week na yan. Ngayon na kami nagsasabi na mas importante ang COVID-19 at paano natin i-defeat. Now na we're saying that feeding the people is more important, sasabihin nyo sa amin, forget everything, forget due process, and in one instance, ipasa na lang yung 25-year franchise? Let the people judge sino sa atin ang nagsasabi ng totoo at sino ang tama. To the senators, allow us to do our jobs. Remember, it is always easier to get 24 people to agree than for 300. Remember, we represent specific constituencies and sectors, and that is why the Constitution provides that franchise bills, like appropriations bills, will emanate from the House. But franchise bills enjoy the constitutional prerogative of exclusively emanating from the House. So we respect your work. But iba pananaw natin eh. National yung sa inyo, sa amin may national, pero nasa grassroots kami. Tinetext kami, pinupuntahan kami sa bahay, sa district office ng mga constituents namin. We want to work with you. We have to work with you. We've done great things together with you. our dear senators, we have to build our nation, but respect our timing and the manner of us holding our hearings. In other words, let's all play nice. Let's not just pretend to be nice to each other. Sa mga dilawan, nothing I say will make you agree with me. You don't even agree on the facts, simply because you think your opinions are law and are always correct. Former Senator Trillanes and you deserve each other. Kayo na lang mag-usap. Pero konting advice, and take it from me, don't disagree with him, papatayan kayo ng mic. Sa mga DDS o diehard Duterte supporters, I know you want to shut down ABS CBN. Believe me when I say I hear you. Many in this August hall hear you. Congress hears you. As a friend and political ally of the President, part of the purpose of having this hearing is to make sure that history will judge our actions as just, na may hustisya po. And that the world will not blame the Duterte administration in case the franchise application is denied. So it's only by having these hearings where we will be able to justify to our people now and where history can look back and say, tama pala na binigay nyo yung franchise in 25 years. Or mali pala, dapat pala hindi nyo binigyan. O tama pala na hindi nyo binigyan. Or maybe some amendments to it, depending on what we find out during the hearings. I was the one who filed the application for a temporary restraining order and spoke against ABS-CBN during those crucial moments before the 2016 elections. I have not wavered that the network has to be held accountable. But true accountability can only flow from fair and thorough hearings. Di po tayo pwede mag-road rage dito. Kahit mali po yung kotse na nag-cut sa'yo, pag hinabol mo, kinat mo rin, nilabasan mo ng baril, ginulpi mo, mali ka pa rin. Di ba? May traffic enforcer at meron pong paraan ang traffic enforcer na interviewin to get due process from all of them. So allow our majority leader, allow the House leadership na mag-traffic kung anong mas mahalaga sa panahon na ito. But again, without any injustice to anyone. Lastly, to the management and employees of ABS CBN, alam po namin na sa panahon ng COVID, marami po ang umaasa sa balita ng ABS CBN. At kahit naman may iba pang stasyon, may mga bahagi pa rin ng Pilipinas na inaabot lang ng isang network ng ABS CBN. Wala naman siguradong makakatanggi na tumutulong ang ABS CBN sa efforts ng local at national government. Kabilang sa DOH, IATF, DILG at iba pang ahensya ng gobyerno at local government units, tumutulong ang ABS-CBN upang maibsan ang epekto ng COVID-19. That goes the same with the other calamities. Nandito po si Majority Leader Martin Romualdez. Ted Filon is in the building. ABS-CBN was there during Yolanda and helped rebuild. We also know that ABS-CBN was there when yung lugar po ni DS Rani Abu, ang lugar po ng ating mga kababayang Batanggenyo, was ravaged by the explosion of Taal. So, hindi po namin tinatanggal yan sa network nyo. Hindi lang sa panahon ito, kung hindi sa iba pang mga sakuna at trahedya ng mga nagdaang taon. Nandun po kayo. Ngunit sa kabila ng lahat ng ito, kailangan pa ding sagutin ang mga katanungan ng mga tao. Ang konstitusyon sinasabi na kailangan ng renewal ng franchise. And this is the time to ask the questions. There's no question that you have been part of nation building, part of the Philippine history, part of who we are today. But as you yourself have said through your officers, you are not perfect. You are not a perfect network. And I agree. Why do I agree? Wala naman pong perfecto talaga, Diyos lang. No one is perfect. And that is why we need these hearings. If it is done properly, we will emerge stronger and unified. having laid to rest one of the most politically charged issues of our time. But to do this, we need everyone's cooperation, understanding, and open-mindedness. You know, the most politically charged issue during the time of creation and paradise was Adam and Eve partaking of the forbidden fruit. Di po ba? Kung meron media po noon, yun po ang headline. Eva, kinaan yung mansanas, binigay kay Adan. Di ba? Hindi ko alam paano i-feature yung ahas doon. But what did the Lord do, who is all-knowing? Sinabi ba niya, I condemn you? Sinabi ba sa inyo, mali, etc.? Hindi ba nagtanong muna siya, Adam and Eve, what did you do? Why are you hiding? Why are you ashamed? So is it too much to ask that you give Congress the opportunity to do the same? To ask all sides. Ano ba ang tamang ginawa ng ABS? Why should we give them another 25 years? Ano naman ang mali nila na dapat tanggalin natin sa kanila? Paano naman empleyado nila? Paano ang investments nila over the last 25 years? Totoo bang nakialam sa eleksyon o hindi? Importante ang freedom of press. Pero hindi ba importante din na ang eleksyon natin is free and fair? Na kahit sinong Pilipino, may pera man o wala, may equal chance? Pero if you only have 2 giant networks in our country, and 95% of our people watch your news, and you can sway who you want them to vote for by just using one network, isn't that as much a threat to democracy as damaging the freedom of the press or freedom of speech? I echo the words of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte when he tells you, ABS CBN, and also all the members of media, simply do your job. Do not fear, do your job. Call out injustice and corruption whenever you see it. Protect the weak from the powerful, and give voice to the voiceless. This is your mandate. Kahit dito sa Kongreso, kung anong mali ang gagawin dito, i-report nyo. To speak truth freely and fearlessly to power. But beware, yes, beware, that you do not become the power that you hope to check. Huwag nyo rin po i-underestimate ang power ninyo. Because kapag ka ginamit nyo yung network para sa injustice, multiplied to 1,000,000 times over. Walang laban din po ang biktima ng injustice sa inyo. Magkamali lang kayo sa news sa pangalan o yung bahay. Sira na reputasyon ng isang tao. Hindi na madaling ibalik yun. Some of your reporters, and let me emphasize again, some reporters or in the newsroom of ABS CBN repeatedly say, di ba sabi mo, ikaw mismo ang mag-on ng transmitter kung sa pilitan isasara ang istasyon. Yes po, I said that right outside this hall. I said it based, of course, on the premise and on the promise of NTC and on my consultations na hindi isasara. But I did say it, na pagka pinatay, ako mismo mag-on. Pero ang sagot ko sa hamon nyo, hindi ba voluntarily pinatay nyo yung transmitter nyo? Wala pa naman nag-enforce dun Pwede naman kayo pumunta sa korte. Pwede kayong humingi ng temporary restraining order habang nagro-broadcast pa kayo. Notice pa lang na sa inyo, order. If the order is illegal, padalan mo ako order sa bahay na lumayas ako sa bahay ko. Alam kong bahay ko yon. Pupunta ako sa korte, hindi ako voluntary alis sa bahay. But I respect yung diskarte nyo. Yan ang naging strategy, yan ang decision nyo. Maybe you wanted to humble yourself before the law. Maybe gusto nyo magpaawa. Hindi ko alam. But I respect your decision. But kayo sa ilan lang naman, na paulit-ulit play, sinasabi, sabi mo, i-on mo Paano ko i-on kayo nagpatay? Pero ngayon, sa araw na to, para wala na tayong pagtalunan, para matapos na yung usapan, we will begin the process of turning on your transmitter by giving you a franchise until October 31, 2020. And we will not pass the buck. We will have the hearing, tatapusin namin to, at tao ang magja-judge kung dapat kayo bigyan o hindi ng prangkisa. Through this measure that we have filed today, I am now sponsoring, we will provide ABS with a provisional franchise or with a franchise, a full-blooded franchise with limited period until October 31, 2020, within which both the House of Representatives and the Senate will hear the issues being raised for and against the renewal and assess with complete impartiality and fairness whether or not the network shall be granted a franchise for another 25 years. We cannot, in good conscience, sweep the accusation under the rug and proceed as if nothing happened. As we have always promised, these hearings will be fair, impartial, and above all, thorough. Again, mga kababayan, ang issue po ng Kongreso, timing lang po at fairness. Timing po. I was not willing to sacrifice the budget, the relief sa Taal, the relief that was going on sa tinamaan po ng mga lindol sa Mindanao. I was not willing to sacrifice po yung much-needed taxes na it ends up we needed it much more than we thought before because of this COVID-19. No? So timing and also fairness, di ba?